Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, we're continuing a look at Gundam Evolve. We're actually at episode 11. This is going to be RB79 Ball, so yet another Universal Century episode, so I'm into that. But it doesn't seem like too much is going on here, yet it adds some interesting lore to Universal Century, especially like right at the end of the 1 Year War. And I wonder too if there's something that shows up in this that is then not in the movie trilogy version of the original Gundam, but just in the series. So yeah, let's take a look. We had heard that the fighting was all over and that this place ought to be deserted. 9 days after the fall of A Baoa Qu. All right, we're seeing some hands of the ball. Now, I gotta say, at this point in Gundam Evolve, I feel like they've sort of experimented with how the CGI would look. They went from super PS1, PS2 graphics to adding a cel-shaded layer on top to now where it seems like there's minimal cel shading, maybe just on characters or human characters, but the mechanics themselves look very highly detailed, and we'll see as we look at this. And just for some background information, A Baoa Qu was the principality of Zeon's largest and most powerful asteroid base. Much like Luna 2 and Solomon, it was originally transported from the asteroid belt for mining and resource extraction, but it was captured and transformed into a military base by Zeon forces with the space fortification work completed within 6 months time. Oh, that was quick. So A Baoa Qu finally fell to the Federation on the 1st of January. UC 0080, Zeon's Prime Minister, Darcia Baccaro, was that done on purpose? Signed the Granada Treaty, formally ending the 1 Year War. Under the conditions of the treaty, A Baoa Qu would be the only asteroid base kept by the new Republic of Zeon. And just some background information on the ball. This was a sort of a worker pod, I guess, but also it would be armed to use it in combat. This was kind of relied on for a bit in space before the Federation was able to get mobile suits out. Now, if you watch MS Igloo, you can see some cool behind the scenes of the ball being used during the 1 Year War. It's kind of scary. So what we're seeing here, and you could barely make it out, and I think it's due to this being of DVD quality. There's no real HD version of Evolve, unfortunately, yet, but that's the white base we're seeing in there. And to give some background on that, during the Battle of A Baoa Qu, white base became a rally point for the surviving ships in Admiral Revel's fleet after Garen Zabi unleashed the Solar Ray, a gigantic colony laser. Assisted by other ships, white base spearheaded an assault against one of A Baoa Qu's defensive lines. During the battle, white base was rammed into the asteroid in an effort to force a way inside. Unfortunately, this grounded the white base, and she was set to self-destruct during the battle, though the crew evacuates in shuttles. So interesting, the white base just being stuck in this asteroid, and I don't know if any further stories discuss maybe Zeon Remnants or people going back to the white base to see if they can get data or information. That's a pretty cool idea. I don't know if that's been done in UC before. And then here we see, again, as it's kind of pulling out, we're seeing a fleet of balls heading to the asteroid base. So here's a clear view of the pilot of the ball, and as I was mentioning before, I think the CGI has improvements that are made. I think this actually looks fine, but there is a contrast between the detail of the mechanics and then seeing an anime face. Okay, this is interesting. Look what's flying in. It's a G-fighter. So this was an interesting and actually, let me pull it up. The G-Fighter is a heavy fighter that served as a support unit for the RX-78 Gundam. It was featured in the original Mobile Suit Gundam TV series. So listen to this. 2 G-Fighters were produced, piloted by Salem Mass and Sleger Law. 1 G-Fighter was lost during the Battle of Solomon when Sleger Law flew it into the underside of the massive Big Zam in order to cripple the mobile armor's beam-deflecting eye field. The 2nd G-Fighter is thought to have been destroyed along with white base during the Battle of A Baoa Qu. So very interesting. This is talking about the Battle of A Baoa Qu when we've seen the G-Fighter up until then, and it's thought to have been destroyed. So I guess you can have it where maybe it is back. The 2nd one didn't get destroyed. Maybe they are extracting from there, or it was sticking around, kind of helping out with any Zeon remnants. And then just a little factoid here, the G-Fighters were only present in the original television series. In subsequent movie and game adaptations, they were replaced with the more realistic BST core booster design. When scenes featuring the G-Fighter were referenced in future productions such as Z Gundam and Char's Counterattack, the core booster is depicted instead. So G-Fighter, retcon, but still will always have a place in my heart. It's just cool that we're actually seeing it with this very highly detailed CGI, and it's doing some transformation here. And I'm seeing parts of an RX-78 too, so does that mean that was another one that was built or something? So that's something I have questions about. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it though. Okay, awesome, it's showing up in tank mode here. And really, it's blasting a hole in the asteroid for the balls to get in. That was a weird sentence to say. You know, inside they're like searching around. You get some good detailed looks of this mechanical design of the ball. In fact, very faintly, you can even see some decals like EFSF on the back. I gotta say, for 2005, this was a good vision they had for updating and modernizing the mechanics of the original Gundam without it going too extreme or too far out. And so as they are navigating through the tunnels or whatever, the interior of A Baoa Qu, the asteroid base, there are some attacks occurring. Getting further down, it's pretty cool that we're seeing like this zombie graveyard. I don't know why I said zombie, but for Zaku's just kind of laying around. And then just like peeking out from one of the rocks, it's a Zaku head. And I didn't know what to expect. You know, normally you have that bong and you see that red eye appear, and it did it very faintly. And it's very interesting because what is it? Is this mobile suits just laying around afterwards and the pilots are inside just like waiting for something? I kind of don't understand. Or was this like a planned ambush? They're kind of like, well, yeah, Baoa Qu's gonna be destroyed and taken over. Just kind of lay in wait for some Federation backup to come up. I don't know. Really cool shot here. I think the CGI looks great. I just wish this was more high definition. Okay, and the ball shoots a direct hit to the chest of the Zaku, which seems to destroy it or stop it at least. And then you see the pilot kind of floating outside. And I kind of don't know the point entirely of, you know, what they're trying to portray here, unless they're just doubling down, yeah, on the sort of mental anguish like Amuro had to go through when he was first getting in battle against mobile suits, destroying them, knowing that he's hurting people, you know. And I think they're trying to portray that here. Yeah, they're like showing his eyes twitching while you see the reflection of the Zeon pilot's body fly by. So I think they're really just, yeah, again, just kind of retreading on that whole, you know, war is bad thing. And that is it. There wasn't really too much going on here, even though it looked cool and it showed cool stuff. And there's a lot going on during like the end credits, like we could see the G fighter, some pilots standing around. All right, and this says that it was based on the master grade mobile pod ball Verka and the high grade Universal Century G armor. And it ends with, in January, UC 0080, the conflict later known as the 1 Year War, came to an end. And to kind of give the summary, as according to the wiki here, so Gundam Evolve 11 RB-79 Ball Universal Century Baoa Qu, the grounds of the final battle of the 1 Year War, as the scars of war remain fresh in the battlefield. Novice Federation pilot Hiden surveys the area in a RB-79 Ball. Word comes in that Zeon Remnants are about to attack. Though afraid, the young pilots proceed through the silent interiors of A Baoa Qu without warning. Gunshots echo through the air, and his party is decimated one by one. When Hiden, the sole survivor, presses further into the depths, he discovers the harsh reality behind war. Not really an amazing or different style story. But yeah, I guess they talk about word that Zeon Remnants are about to attack. So I don't know if that means while the Federation was using the balls to kind of search the interiors of A Baoa Qu, they maybe were able to detect in some way that there were some Zeon forces and hey, watch out for them. I mean, I wonder, did they know going in with the balls that there would be some Zaku's? If so, I think they would use some GMs or whatever was left. But the character's name, Hiden, it could be Hiden. I think that would be HAI or something, but Hiden, like hidden, I don't know if that's a play on hidden for some reason, but interesting nonetheless. That's about it. Very cool, I think, especially someone that's a fan of Universal Century, just to get some more connective tissue, even if it's very minimal. It's really just showing right at the end of the conflict, the Federation had some balls to go into the asteroid base and snuff out remnants. I just don't think that would be done on purpose, but there was the G fighter there as well, which was cool to see because that's not part of the movie trilogy. That's just part of the TV series, but I think that could still be part of the canon and could be something mechanical. It's just that booster, it was replaced and updated to be the booster for the main parts of the the 1 Year War battle with white base, but a G fighter could potentially still exist. It's just then, what about the parts on it that are the Gundam parts? So maybe you in the chat or viewers that are watching have an idea of that. Is there some background information that kind of have that make sense? Or is this another example of while Evolve tells some expanded stories, it sometimes has to add little things here and there that might not fully be canon, but just makes it interesting. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like the video if you haven't, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll talk later.